Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Deer Park Coaches Show. He's Tucker Berger. I'm Jake Snyder. Tucker, it is week 8
yes, sir.
of the Deer Park Wildcats. We're going to get into next week and talk about Friday night's game coming up. But first, we got to jump backwards to last week. Wildcats drop a heartbreaker on senior night, falling 23-21 to Mariemont. Still sitting at 5-2 overall, 2-2 in the CHL. Still well within everywhere you want to be for this year, but a tough night in a close game. First, before we get into anything, obviously address the injury. Pretty vicious hit on Tink Sellers. He goes down, leaves in an ambulance. Obviously, fans, everybody scared for him. Mm-hmm. How's Tink doing? How we feeling heading after that hit?
Yeah, really, that's the first time anything like that's happened when I've been coaching, and I think it's really scary for everybody. And I did hear some things after the game about how people were wondering why everyone was so emotional, why the kids were emotional and stuff like that. I mean, shoot, even I was emotional.
Yeah.
But I think it's hard for people that aren't in that situation at that time. I mean, these guys have been together pretty much every single day since May. So really when you see someone go down like that, and when you got guys kind of running off waving at us to come out there, it's scary. And I mean, just being in the situation, that's something you don't really ever want to be in again. I mean, he's doing all right. He's been back at school for a few days, and really, I mean, our main focus is just making sure he's healthy. I mean, there's no really timetable on when he's coming back or anything like that. I mean, that really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Really the only thing is just getting him back to being himself and really getting him back to just being healthy. I mean, football secondary, and I mean, that's kind of the message to the boys at the end of the game. There's things that are bigger than football, and, the guys on the team and their health is definitely one of those. I saw him later that night, and he was definitely doing better then, and he's just getting better every single day. So really that's all we're hoping for, is that we can just kind of get him back up, get him back to being Tink, and kind of move him from there.
Yeah. Obviously, great to hear he's back at school. Great to hear we're moving in the right direction. So let's jump into the game here and talk a little football, because this one's a heartbreaker, but there's plenty of positive to take from this game. I really felt like defensively your team stepped up and made stops when they needed to make stops. I thought they stopped the run extremely well. They made big plays on third downs when they needed to force punts. Offensively at 302 yards, most of those on the ground, 203 on the ground. Morgan Brown has 12 carries for 154 yards. I thought he looked really, really good. You did a lot of things well. Let's start offensively in this game. How did you feel like offensively you played on Friday?
I thought we started really well. I thought we came out and executed, but then, we hit a little lull in that second and third quarter, and then picked it back up. But, I mean, I think there's a lot of things you can pick at that went well. I mean, obviously Morgan made plays, and, what a lot of people don't know is he wasn't going to go back into the game in the second half. He was dealing with a back issue, and then after everything happened, I turned around and he had his pads on. So, I mean, at times I think Morgan can be kind of a polarizing person, but I don't think people really know how big of a leader he actually is. And, sure, he's young and, he does things, but, I mean, he's really the glue to our team. I mean, guys look at him to produce, and I think the fact that the guys saw him put his pads back on, get back out there, and then lead us down the field for a drive at the end of the game, I think they kind of showed the fight that he had. And I think, some of those guys kind of had a newfound respect for him. But, I mean, you look across the board, I think there were guys that we put in positions to make plays. I mean, Titus scores 2 touchdowns. CJ has a big catch for a touchdown. So really, I mean, we kind of counted on some of those guys who don't always pop off to make some plays, and they kept us in the game.
Yeah, 100%. And matter of fact, you started with this the first drive, how well you looked, and that's actually where I want to start our footage today, our game film today, because that definitely your best drive of the game as far as sustainability, what it looked like from start to finish. So we're going to just jump right into it here. Morgan kind of carries this drive at the beginning of this thing, and he's going to start this off on the second play from the offensive scrimmage with a 30-yard run. This play was executed well from the jump.
Yeah, so we do a good job. You know, that guy crashes down. Tink does a good job of pulling it. And, I mean, as soon as that guy steps up, he knows he's got a quick pitch. We worked on it all week. So he does a good job of pitching it. And then, you know, I would like us to have some better blocks on the edge. But Morgan does a good job of making that first guy miss and then gets vertical down the sideline. I mean, that's just a heck of an effort once you get out there. I mean, that's how the option is supposed to look. You know, you read your keys, you get it out, and we go. So I'm, you know, seeing what we work on in practice kind of translate to Friday. I think those are really good things, and that's one of the biggest things right there that I thought we did throughout those drives. We were successful.
Yeah, that's a great point that you make is kind of each of those individual pieces is how the option works, right? If you make the right read, you make the right pitch, you make the first guy miss, all of a sudden you're going to get big plays out of it. And that's kind of just the way it goes. And you go to this next play here and something very similar is going to happen. This is the fourth or fifth play of this drive on big third down.
Yeah. So we know we're in a place where we can go 4 downs. So really we're not looking to get the first down, but we're looking to kind of get closer just to set ourselves up better for the next play. Taj had came off, you know, he was dealing with a thumb injury, so he came off, and Morgan goes to our running back spot. And Tink does a good job of really pressing this option out and kind of making that guy decide if he's going to take the quarterback or the pitch. And as soon as he declares for Tink, Tink pitches out. You know, we get some good blocks on that edge, and then Morgan, you know, does it again. He gets around the edge, gets vertical, and, you know, the speed and power, I mean, you don't see that too often out of kids, especially as young as he is. And I think that's a thing for us is I don't think people realize how fast some of our guys are on film. So, you know, it's good for us because when you think you have the angle, you don't. So, I mean, plays that you think are going to get stopped at 5-6 yards end up being close to 40 yards because you're not ready for it and you have to adjust to it.
Well, you made the comment earlier about other guys stepping up and making plays here, and this has to do with Taj's injury in that moment right here of why Titus Sayers is going to get the call in this play. This very next play. Again, you're only a couple minutes into this game at this point. Getting this thing in the end zone was obviously a huge momentum swing at the beginning of the game, and Titus makes a really nice run on this play.
Yeah. So, I mean, Tink does a good job of feeling it out, and he pulls it and pitches it, and then, you know, Titus is just another guy who I think is an underrated athlete. I mean, he catches the pitch, and then he makes a guy miss and gets to the edge, and, you know, he's one of those guys that he's going to do what he has to do. I mean, he could easily get tackled on the one, but he kind of fights in and makes a move and gets in the end zone. And I think these are positive plays you see from guys that show up and do what they're supposed to do. I mean, Titus is a guy who's always doing what he's supposed to do. You know, throughout the game, I think he did some things he wasn't too happy with. But the message to him just kept being, you know, we trust you, we trust you, we trust you. You wouldn't be out there if we didn't trust you. But I think that all points back to just how much he cares and how much he wants to succeed. And I mean, later in the game, he catches the touchdown that brings us within 2. So I think the fact that you're kind of seeing him develop throughout the game, but also as he's developed throughout the season, I mean, Titus is just another piece that we're bringing along, and I think he's doing really good things for us.
Yeah, for sure. And a nice, long, sustained first drive. You know, with these games coming up these next few weeks, being able to sustain drives offensively is going to be a huge part of that, and like to see that on your first drive of the game, obviously. Mariemont comes back and scores touchdown on their drive as well to take a 7-6 lead. You get the ball back. It's still first quarter here, 4 minutes and 10 seconds left. Yeah. And we're going to jump into this play. I love this play so much. Just the route running is good. He gets open. The look is there. The throw is right where it needs to be. And then Warner just makes a play finally to get to the end zone.
Yeah, and I think if you look at when Tink throws the ball,
Yep.
I mean, one, CJ's not looking at it, but two, CJ isn't what you would consider open.
Right.
But, we rep this enough in practice that Tink knows as soon as he flips those hips, he's going to beat the linebacker, and he puts it right in the spot for CJ. And then CJ, another person who I think would be in that category of underrated athlete, kind of shows that speed and he outruns the guys. So, I mean, that's just a big play. And, we've talked about it before. It's not that we're sitting there looking to throw a 68-yard bomb.
Right.
I mean, he throws the ball maybe 12, 15 yards, and it turned into a big play just because of how well we're doing everything else. But the fact that we were running the ball well kind of sets this up because, you bring Morgan in motion. He's killed you for probably 50, 60 yards already. Taj, you've seen Taj before break off 10, 15, 20-yard run, so you're going to be ready for that. But as soon as Tink feels that it's not there, he pulls up and he throws it, and it hits for a big play. So I think that just shows you what happens when all of our offense is clicking. Because, are you going to step up and stop the run and let us have our shots, or are you going to play back and then let us run the ball?
Yeah, and since we're talking offense, I'm going to jump to late in the game here. In that last touchdown, you kind of alluded to it earlier. This is going to be Titus's only catch of the game, 13 yards.
Yep.
Morgan's in at quarterback now. Again, as we talked about the injury to Tink. You're down 10 at this point with 2:15 in the game. First of all, this was a heck of a drive to get down into position to score here. As time's running out, that game and you're down 10, that game can feel like it's slipping away, and sometimes you just kind of give up on things. There's a long fourth down conversion that you guys pick up on this one. But I thought what this showed more than anything was the resolve of your team. Playing down your quarterback, you're down 10 points. There's no time left. You probably don't have enough time left to make anything happen. But there was just no quit in this team. I thought they rallied together, and this plays a culmination of it.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the biggest takeaway. I mean, we lost the game, but I think the fact that the guys kind of battled through everything that happened and still fought till the last second, I think was huge. And, this is stuff that we rep in practice even with Morgan. Titus does a good job of running the seam. He beats the guy inside, and Morgan knows it's a quick ball to get out. So he just lets it loose, and he puts it really only in the spot that Titus is going to get it. I mean, if he misses it, it's incomplete. We line back up, it's fourth down, but, he hits him in the end zone, and it's really just a good play on both ends. He doesn't throw the ball as well as Tink, but he can still make a lot of the throws. And we've seen that this week, too, in practice, so he's coming along with it as well. But, I mean, I think that just helps us be able to spread the ball around even more because you got guys like that are stepping up and make plays. So, I mean, Titus is a guy who we trust, and he might not touch the ball as much as he would some other places. But, I mean, when we call his number, he's making plays. Yeah,
for sure. On the defensive side of the ball, honestly, I thought your defense played really, really well in this game. You end up with 56 total tackles, 6 tackles for loss, a sack. Morgan has 10 tackles. Sefa Sackey has 8 tackles, 7 solo tackles. He was an animal in this game. As you watch the film, he was all over it. CJ Warner, 10 tackles. Warren has 2 tackles for loss. Broadbeck has a tackle for loss, and then Seller has a pick in a huge moment in this game,
that was big.
That we'll look at here in just a little bit. But the first play that I actually want to look at defensively here is Sefa, and it's on a 1st and 10 play early in the game. It's in the fourth quarter. And it's not just Sefa on this play, actually, but basically your cold defensive line getting to the quarterback, creating a negative play on fourth down. They throw 2 incomplete passes afterwards and punt it away. They're on the plus side of the field. This is the time where you need people to make plays.
Yeah, and I felt like we got pretty good pressure all night. I mean, it seemed like the guy was back there running around a lot, scrambling. I mean, on some of them he made plays, but on other ones, I mean, he might have ran for a yard or 2. So I thought we did a good job of pressuring him. Sefa does a really good job of just being quick inside. He knows if he's quick inside, he's got to get back out, and he does that. And really, I think he's come along so much since that first game he's played in terms of technique, but also in just terms of, football knowledge and things he's doing. I mean, he's improved tackling. He's improved with his hands. He's improved understanding where he has to be to make our defense successful and not necessarily always making the big play, but doing his job to set up for other things. And I mean, I think our defensive line is one of the better ones in the league across the board. And I mean, I think the stats back that up. But really, it's just continued success from the guys and the continuation of them, really pushing each other to be great.
Yeah.
We got three seniors on the defensive line, and I thought really all of them played great between Andre, Corey, and Sefa.
Yeah.
And really, I think that's what carried us to the game being close, is that they just had constant pressure all night, and they were just kind of creating havoc up front.
I absolutely just love this screenshot right here. I'm just going to put that up for a second because that's a beautiful thing. You're running back and you see three guys in your face like that. You're not making too much of a play.
You're not outrunning Sefa to the edge.
Yeah.
If you cut back, Andre's sitting right there waiting for you. So.
Yeah, we love that. So, all right, and then the last play that I'm going to look at here that I'm going to jump into is Tink's interception.
Mm-hmm.
This is in the third quarter. You're down 14-13, so it's everything is in front of you. It's a 1-point game. This is a war at this point. You guys are battling. They've driven the ball all the way down inside the red zone. This is where turnovers are as important as it gets right here. And a couple things happen on this play. The first is your defensive line gets some pressure that causes the errant throw, and then Tink goes and makes a play.
Yeah, and I think, the more pressure you get, the more uncomfortable you make them. I mean, things are going to happen that are positive. And Tink's one that has a really good sense of where the football is going to be. I think he projects more at the next level to play, probably defensive back, whether it's corner or safety. But he does a good job. He drops to his zone, and, as soon as he finds the quarterback, he realizes he's getting rid of it. He sees the motion, and as soon as the guy throws it, he breaks on it, and he makes a heck of a play. And it's plays like that from captains on our team that I think just kind of have kept us moving throughout the year.
Yeah.
I mean, you got our senior guys up front, and some of those guys are captain between Andre and Corey, getting pressure. And then you got Tink, a junior captain on the back half, making a big turnover play and setting us up to go down the field and, hopefully take the lead.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously it didn't go the way that you wanted to go at the end of the day. But you lose by 2 points in a game where there's some points out there. And like I said, to start this thing, you really have everything right in front of you. You're still 5-2. You're still 2-2 in the league. Everything is there for you to still have a chance to do what you want to do.
Yeah. And these are 3 big games in the year, and it's against 3 teams that, have a lot of success and have a lot of history. So, I mean, it's kind of where you want to be because it gives you a chance to kind of set yourself up. And it really, you win 3-2 one of these last 3 games. I mean, those are big playoff points for us, especially against teams that are 2 divisions higher than us. I mean, you have Wyoming, who's won a state championship in the past 5-10 years. You got Indian Hill, who has made runs in the playoffs. You got Taylor, who made a run last year in the playoffs. So, it's really going to be that measuring stick of, where we're at and, kind of how far we've came over these past couple of years.
Yeah, you get to find out who you are in the next 3 weeks. That's very much coming forward here. So, all right, let's jump into our Deer Park Student Athletes of the Week for this week. Super excited, as always, to bring these to you. And we're going to start off with the girls soccer team this week. Ashley Rodriguez is the nominee for the girls soccer team. Ashley had an exceptional week demonstrating versatility and strong team spirit, scored a goal, showcasing her offensive skills, and beyond that, she stepped up by playing in multiple new positions, proving her adaptability and willingness to contribute wherever needed. Coach says Ashley's ultimate team player attitude was evident in her positive interactions and support for her teammates.
I think she scored 2 goals earlier this week.
Yeah. So, we've said it every week, that girls soccer team just continues to improve, continues to get better, and love to see that. Boys soccer, familiar face is our player of the week this week. Surprise, Caden Lewis gets the nod on that one. He scored 3 goals this week and a couple of wins for the soccer team, for the boys soccer team, who got a couple of different wins this week, and good to see them on the right side of the score sheet there. For cheerleading, Coach Nolan nominated Josie Topping. She said Josie works incredibly hard to continuously improve and uses her knowledge to lift up those around her. On game day, my eyes naturally gravitate towards her, Coach Nolan said. She engages the crowd effortlessly with her energy, smile, and commanding presence. Nice words there from Coach Nolan. on.
Okay.
Josie's enthusiasm is contagious, and we love having her on her team. So great to hear that about Josie Topping. On to the football side of things. Go ahead and take it over, Tucker, and tell me why Corey Waters is your nomination.
Yeah, so, Corey came back to Deer Park this year. He was here 7th and 8th grade and then went elsewhere. And, he's just been, I think, a huge bright spot for us coming back. Obviously, he's really good. But I think what he's brought that's been kind of the biggest thing to us is just a mindset.
Yep.
He's really brought in that, everybody has to work to be successful. And I think he's done that on both sides of the ball, impacting the offense and defensive line. He's a captain for us. And, it's hard to be a captain your first year back because people, you kind of got that target on you and people are like, oh, well, now you're back. But, Corey, I think he's really accepted that challenge and took off. He's a guy that is going to have opportunities to play at the next level, and I think they're really well deserved. He does the right thing. He's probably his biggest critic when he doesn't have to be, but, Corey's just a great kid. Corey's killing it. I'm so happy he's back. I wish it would have happened a few years earlier, but, I can't thank him enough for what he's done so far and really how he's impacted all the guys.
Yeah. All right, and then jumping into volleyball, Abby Woodley is the nominee for the Student Athlete of the Week for the volleyball team. Coach Beach said Abby has been a consistent and steady force on the varsity team for the entire season. She listens and applies what the coaches are telling her, which has helped her improve each week. She's a reliable hitter, and her setter knows she can count on her to put the ball in play or get the kill. This week she had 18 kills, 12 of those in the Mariemont game. I can't wait to see, Coach Beach says, what Abby continues to do in the rest of the season and the next 2 years. She also gave a shout-out to the JV volleyball team. I guess the entire JV team came out playing hard this week. They had a bunch of changes to the team personnel, and they played a bunch of sets with only 6 players. Said they fought hard, beating Mariemont in 3 and taking Taylor to 3 sets. Taylor, a great volleyball program over there on the west side. The whole team worked together and didn't let the situation that was thrown at them get them flustered or down. They rose to the challenge, kept up the energy, and had 2 solid and well-played matches.
They got a big one tonight. It's senior night. This drops tonight. Before
it'll be right about the
time
out.
It's so it'll be going on if you guys hear this,
get over there.
Got 3 seniors, Grace, Camille, Abby. They all work for the football team, and they're all killing on volleyball. So they do a lot around here, and really, they're great. So I think they deserve to have the place packed tonight, just for everything they do and kind of how much they've done to help Deer Park just grow as a whole. So, if you got some time tonight, go out, celebrate the girls, beat the Cowboys.
That's right.
We'll go from there.
All right. Let's take this thing back to wrap it up with Taylor this week. Taylor comes in at 3-4, 2-2 in the CHL. I feel like they sit in kind of a very similar spot that we're in right now. Obviously, the same record in the CHL from that perspective, but their games, they beat Reading by 7 points. They played a close one with Mariemont as well. They've lost to the big dogs, and so talk to me about Taylor. This game is obviously huge when you look at CHL standings and where you're at and where you want to finish.
For sure.
You got a chance to head out there to the west side and get a huge win.
Yeah. And it's no secret what you're going to get with Taylor. They're always going to be well coached. They're going to be tough, and they're going to play hard. I know Coach over there, and he's a really good dude, and he's going to have those guys jacked up. I think they didn't play as well as they wanted to last week. They still got the win. But, he's going to use that to fuel him. It's homecoming over there for him again. It feels like we put on everybody's homecoming, geez. But, it's homecoming over there. They got a big firework and drone show afterwards, so that place is going to be packed. And, really, we say it every week because it feels like these are the kind of games you want. It has that big game feel. Both teams need the win. Both teams, are jockeying for that 3rd, 4th spot in the CHL. So, really, it's just a huge game for both teams right now. And I know they're going to come out. They're going to be ready to play. They're going to be ready to go. And, it's one of those where you think back to the past couple of years. We've played them tough for a few years, but I mean, last year we let get away from us really from the kickoff. So, those are some of the things that, we've emphasized this week, is that it can't just be one phase. It has to be all three phases, because, I mean, last year in the game, they returned the opening kickoff, they block a field goal. And really, those are just hard to come back from.
Yeah.
And I think 2 years ago, they blocked a punt. They recovered a kickoff or two, and, you can't just let those things kill you, because if you do, a team like Taylor is just going to take advantage of it, and then it's going to pile up, and it's going to be hard to get back from. So, we're really focused. I think this has probably been one of our better weeks of practice.
Yeah.
And I mean, the kids they're playing for something. So I know they're going to be inspired. They're going to come out. They're going to play their butts off, and we're going to give Taylor a game, and whatever happens. But I can tell you right now, we're going to come out there and we're going to play hard.
Love it. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Deer Park Coaches Show. Week 8 coming up this Friday night. Yep. We got 2 of these left before we hit playoff season. And then we never know when it's going to end from there. So great to be with you guys as always. For Tucker Berger, I'm Jake Snyder. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment on our YouTube. Make sure you follow our show wherever you get your podcasts. Wildcats looking to get back in the win column.
Yes, sir.
And we will see you all there on Friday night.